My name's Jamie Watson, a teacher at Brighton Grammar School in Melbourne. I've been involved now with F1 in schools for about 8 years. It's a program that is invaluable to me and particularly to the students. I sort of think back to the early days when I started the competition. The boys got excited about being able to design their own car, but didn't really realise the depth of the rest of the competition. So I think that the extra stuff around the competition, around verbal presentation skills, dealing with industry, collaborating with experts from tertiary institutes and so forth has opened up and expanded my classroom walls, is probably the best way to describe it. I think about being recently at the World Finals, which is the complete opposite to where I was at the very beginning, and to be in the Haas garage or in the Red Bull garage with their chief engineers speaking to my students about pathways in engineering, things I'd never dreamed I'd be doing with students. I'm just a school teacher that generally stands in front of a bunch of 20 kids and teaches them how to make things. And F1 in schools has offered an opportunity far beyond the classroom walls. It's not just out in the local community, it's out in the world, like in the big wide world. And I think one of the boys in particular, a boy called James, who wouldn't even speak in year 7. He was very, very socially awkward. And to see him on the stage at the World Finals, conversing with, you know, top-end engineers from the F1 world and also from industry, and the confidence that I saw in him. And I know his parents have contacted me since being there, and they've been really shocked at how much this has given him a voice and confidence and a home away from his textbooks, which are really where he spent most of his time. So yeah, it's just been incredible to see the change in someone like James as he came through the competition. And yeah, I don't know what he would be doing without the opportunity that F1's been able to provide for him. Yeah, it's been an amazing journey for him. And I think, like, back to the very first few boys that came through, little year 7 kids that sort of struggled to peer over the side of the track and thought, you know, I want to make a little car that races off down the track, and they didn't really have an idea of what they were getting themselves in for. And I think that whilst they've achieved that goal of being able to see their own creation race down the track in front of their own eyes, they've achieved far more than that. I think they've achieved a huge amount with their public speaking skills. They understand the design thinking process. They have the confidence to converse with adults and peers and other schools. And it's probably one of the few competitions I've been involved with other sports and so forth before, where there's a genuine camaraderie between the schools as well, which is another aspect of F1 in schools I love. I think whilst a little bit of friendly rivalry is great, the boys have this network of friends from other schools. They're in contact with girls from Scotland and boys from Romania and you know, a range of teams from all around Australia, and they've got a network for the future. I sort of feel confident now in the future with these young people coming through, hopefully in a way where they can provide and design and build the future for the next generation coming through. When we signed up for F1 in schools, I think I'd seen the track at an engineering expo, and all I knew was the cars were exciting. The kids were excited to see the speed of the cars and the exhilaration of that moment. But I didn't know how complex and deep it was. And I think until you see the competition and live it and see the growth in the kids from the start through to, you know, it might be as young as year 7 right through to year 12, the the inner workings of the competition are probably the key takeaways for me. The car's exciting and fun, but I think of a project manager or someone that's really amazingly good at graphic design. The work they're doing is university level. So I've had a number of my boys use their portfolios to get into their courses at university. I've got boys that have already got into their course prior to getting their ATAR score. So it's provided a really amazing foundation for the design industry, but also not only that, but also other lines of study. You know, boys that have gone into medicine and they've gone into law, they've gone into business, and a lot of the skills that they've learned through F1 are applicable and able to be adapted to that. And currently, one of the boys that has just finished at school, he actually was invited by Autodesk to present at their national conference in Sydney. I think it was an international conference where people came from overseas as well, and his lecturer was in the audience. So I think he suddenly realised what skills this boy had, who was sitting there in first year of uni doing his aerospace engineering degree, and knew the software, the processes, the thinking, and of probably a graduate, a postgraduate sort of student, maybe even a master's student. And I think early on his lecturer had made a comment to him in the first few months of his course: how do you know this stuff? Are you doing the work yourself, or who's helping you? He didn't realise that I think some of the work that was being done in stage 1 of university, James had done this back in year 8 or year 9. So he was so used to using the software, he didn't even think anything of it. But the lecturer was quite shocked that he knew that. And then here he was halfway through stage 1 of university, presenting at an international conference with his lecturer in the audience. So yeah, it was the shoe on the other foot, I guess, in some ways. And you know, he's got opportunities coming up, hopefully, with he's in contact with a few of the F1 teams in Boeing and other things. So I think the doors that have opened for these boys, and I'm talking from a boys' perspective because I teach at a boys' school, yeah, just opportunities galore. I don't really know how, as a teacher, I could do that within my own school. There's no way I could offer those opportunities. So I'm really thankful that I stumbled across F1 in schools and that I stuck to it. Yeah, it's been great.